I am muted. Haha. Got it. Let me go ahead and hit record. Okay, so this is exciting. This is actually my first time on YouTube Live. I have never done this before, so I have no idea what this looks like. I hope it looks correct. Yeah, and I'm also going to be on Instagram. I am muted. Haha. Got it. Let me go ahead and hit record. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, didn't realize that I was actually on YouTube as well. Wow. Okay. Y'all forgive me because I'm trying to learn this. And I've never done this on YouTube. I've never done a YouTube Live before, period. So I'm learning. We're learning together. And I'm also supposed to be on Instagram Live as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click Instagram Live. And then we're just going to go for it because why not? Okay, here we go. Checking connection. I don't know. Oh, and it says that I'm live. Whoop, whoop. Okay, super excited because I am live in 2 places. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this. So what's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, 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 everyone. I am Mrs. Atandra Jones. My husband calls me the systems genius. And I create systems for your business so that you can get more important work done and not just be another admin as a part of your business. You get to work on your business instead of in your business. That's what I do. That's who I am, all that happy stuff. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about 5 reasons why you should be documenting your processes, even if they are not perfect. 5 reasons why you should be documenting your processes right now, even if they are not perfect. I know when I talk to people and when I read some of the comments that people leave, that's like a major concern, right? Like 2 major concerns. Number 1, I don't want to document anything because I don't trust anybody else to do what I do better than me. I've tried to delegate before, I've tried to hire people before, and every time I try to delegate and every time I try to hire people, insert whatever horrible thing happened, right? So that's one concern. The other concern that I hear from time to time is, well, I haven't perfected the process yet. You know, I'm just getting started with this particular process, or I'm just changing this particular process, and I don't want to document it until it's absolutely perfect. And while I understand why you may want to do that, I'm going to tell you why that's not the best thing for you to do. It's not going to be best for you to wait until things are perfect before you start documenting those things, okay? So let's talk about it. If you start documenting your processes now, even though they are not perfect, what this does is this gets you in the habit of documenting your processes early on. The game here is consistency. It's really interesting when, you know, I'm talking to people or I hear people talk about their businesses and you know, all of a sudden now they want to start documenting things. They've got these long drawn out processes in their head. And one of the biggest reasons why they don't document them once they decide that they need to and that they should is, oh my God, it's going to take so much time. I'm going to have to do everything from start to finish. I'm going to have to sit here and remember everything from start to finish, It's going to take so long. Oh my God, it's going to take so long. Well, the reason why it's going to take so long is because you haven't developed a habit of documenting your processes early. Anything that you do more than once needs to be documented, even if it's not perfect. The reason for this is because at some point, you are going to delegate some things. You are going to delegate some things. You are going to delegate some things. And if you get into the habit of documenting your processes early, even before that they're perfect, then what happens is if you have to bring someone else in, they have a starting point. They have an idea of what it is that you are currently doing. And if this person is really, really good at what they do, whatever the task is that you're looking to delegate, they can come to you with some ideas about how that process can be refined, how you can make things simpler, how you can make things easier, maybe even have some ideas of some different kinds of tools that you may want to try, but they have to have a place to start. They have to already have an idea of what it is that you're currently doing. So you want to develop that consistency very early on, well before you start bringing people onto your team, well before you start hiring people, well before you start scaling, and all of these different things, all of these amazing words that people like to use when they're taking their business to the next level, because it simply really, really makes things a lot easier for you. Okay. The second reason why you want to go ahead and start documenting your processes, even though they are not perfect, is because it creates a culture of documenting processes in your company. If you started out your company and maybe it's just you and maybe it's you and a partner, but it's really, really small, it's difficult to scale that. Because at some point, if you're going to want to grow your business and you're going to want to take on more clients, or maybe you want to build new products and services, you're going to have to scale that. And part of that is going to be bringing on new people so that you can expand your capacity to serve your clients. Well, as you bring on new people into your company, everybody's got their ideas of how things should be done. Everybody has their ideas of what tools should be used. Everybody has their ideas of what kind of shortcuts should be taken, and all of these different kinds of things. And what happens is, if you're not careful, you end up with a team full of people who are doing their own thing. Everybody is doing their own thing. Everybody has a different process. Everybody has a different way of doing it, because there's not anything that's documented, right? It's simply take this sales call, sell my product and my service. No step-by-step processes, no real training, none of that, right? Or here, I need you to handle my social media. No real conversation about the brand, no real conversation about your expectations, no real conversation about the flow that needs to be set up to make sure that everybody can do their job on time and to make sure that everybody can do their job properly. And so you end up with all of these little silos, right? So each department becomes its own little silo. But then what happens is each person within that department also becomes their own little silo. And what you'll find is, you will find that some people are doing things that are just not efficient, that are just taking up way too much time, right? And that's something that needs to be nipped in the bud right away. But then you'll also find that there are people who have some really efficient ways of doing things, some really phenomenal ways of doing things. And you won't be able to capture those and spread those out to the team and to the rest of the company, because those things aren't documented. So when you have already started documenting your processes and you started documenting them early on, then you create a culture in your company where everyone who comes in understands, number one, when we do things, we're following documented processes. So that's one part of the culture that you're creating. But then the other part of that is, as we're making these refinements, so if we have a meeting or a conversation, as we're making these refinements, we're also documenting the refinements to those processes. We're also updating and editing those processes. And it becomes a part of your culture. It becomes something that everybody does. It becomes something that more than one person gets to be a part of. And it just makes for more cohesion in the team. It makes for a better situation where people are going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, instead of everybody running off doing their whole thing. And then you have to come back in and sort of course correct and change everything and remanage this entire process. Just makes it a whole lot easier for you. So that's number two. Okay. Number three, if you need to audit your processes, right? If you're ever going through your processes, or you're realizing that there's something that is not happening, there's something that's not working here. So let's say there's something going on with your client onboarding experience, where you have this process by which you onboard your clients, but there's a part of the experience that they're not getting. Maybe they're not getting the emails on time. Maybe they're not getting their packages on time. Maybe there's not an understanding of what is expected from them as a client and what they can expect from you. Maybe there's some miscommunication there, right? Whatever the situation is, if you have the process documented already, then it becomes a lot easier for you to go back and audit the process and say, okay, well, this is what I want to happen. it's not happening. Why is it not happening? Well, let me look at part one, stage two, stage three, and you can audit each stage in the process, each task in the process until you find the part that is dropping the ball, whatever that is. But if you have it all in your head, or your people have it all in their heads, then it's going to be really, really hard to figure out where there's a gap in continuity, where the ball is being dropped, where we're missing out on this client experience, or where we're missing out on the sale, or where we're missing out on getting those invoices paid on time, or whatever the situation may be. It's a lot easier to audit that process and to make refinements and changes to the process once you have been documenting the process. Okay. Okay. Number 4, if you hire somebody to complete the task before you have perfected the process, they have a starting point. We talked about this when we were discussing number 1 about just getting into the habit of documenting those processes. What you never want, you never, ever, ever want the people that you hire or the people that you're bringing onto your team, or even if you're choosing to outsource projects to, an outside firm, whatever the situation may be, you never want them to start from zero. Because if they're always starting from zero, then that means you are not getting the best productivity out of that time. What that means is you're going to have this really, really long kind of learning curve, runoff, whatever you want to call it. But there's going to be a period of time where they're not actually going to be doing any work. They're going to be spending that time figuring out how to do the work. This is something that I say all the time. You hire people to do certain things because these people have skills, talents, and abilities that you find valuable, right? If you want to manage my social media, you've got to have these skills. If you want to manage my admin, you've got to have these skills, whatever the situation may be, right? Like you hire these people because you feel like they're going to be a good fit for the company. They're going to be a good fit for the position. And part of that is because they have a certain set of skills. Here's the thing. Do they have the skills? Yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have hired them. However, what they don't have experience with is using those skills for your company. So if they have worked with other companies or if they have worked with other clients, they have experience utilizing those skills for those companies. Or if they're a freelancer, they have experience using those skills for their company. What they don't have is experience using those skills for your company in a way that's going to work best for your company. And so when you bring somebody onto the team and you hand them a project or you hand them a set of tasks and you say, hey, just go do these things, okay? You be in charge of going to do these things, but you don't give them a roadmap. You don't give them any documented processes. You don't give them any SOPs. Then the first part of their experience with your company is going to be spent trying to figure out how to do what it is that they do in a way that works for your company. So if you hire somebody for a 3-month project, the first 45 days might be spent just trying to figure out how to do things for you. But if you already have processes documented, even if they aren't perfect, the person that you bring onto your team has a starting point. They have a place to begin. So now they know what your expectations are. They know what you have currently been doing. And so it's easy for them to go in and audit what it is that you have already been doing and then bring their skills, talents, and abilities to the table to get those projects completed and to get those tasks done. So you don't want your people starting from zero. Okay. And number 5, we talked about this a little bit when we were talking about number 1. When you bring talented people onto your team, right? You don't just bring them onto your team to do stuff, right? They just, here is all the things that I hate doing. You take them. I mean, if that's what you do, then that's totally fine. I mean, to each his own, you do whatever you feel is best for your company. But essentially, if you're going to create a situation where people are bought into your vision and invested in your company and invested in your products and your services and all of these different kinds of things, they're going to have to be a part of different aspects of your business. And one of those aspects is having some input into some of the processes that they have to use to get their work done. And so when you already have processes documented, you've already started, you can hand them something, they have an idea of what you do and how you do what you do. It's going to be a lot easier for them to make suggestions about how to improve those processes, how to streamline those processes, how to make things faster, how to make things simpler, how to upgrade experiences, and all of these different kinds of things, because they're starting from where you are already starting. They're not starting from zero. And so they can look at what it is that you're currently doing, and they can take that and they can put that up against what it is that you're currently asking them to do. And then they bring their knowledge and their skills and their abilities, right? And their past wisdom on doing whatever it is that you're paying them to do. And it's a lot easier for them to make suggestions on how to streamline those processes. Okay. And again, that makes it a lot easier for you because you are not head admin in charge, or at least you shouldn't be. You should be the CEO of your business, which means that you should be in a position where you have talented and qualified people to handle the back end of your business, those non-revenue generating tasks, so that you can focus on what it is that you are best at as the CEO of that company. And so if you already have those processes documented, even if they're not perfect, the person can come in and offer some suggestions on how to streamline those processes. And then number 6, it'll be easier. This is actually a bonus because this is just something that just came up, wasn't originally a part of this. But number 6, it'll be easier for them to go in and document those processes because they already have a starting point. So you've given them what it is that you're currently doing. You've given them what it is that you want them to do. They bring their skills, talents, and abilities to that. They give you suggestions on some different tools or some different workflows on how to make it more streamlined, upgrade the experience, basically how to make your vision come to fruition. And then once they've done all of that, they can go back and redocument or update that documented process. And now that person can actually own the managing of the documenting of the processes for that particular department or section of your business or whatever it is that you call it. Okay, so there you have it. It was supposed to be 5 reasons, but now you actually have six reasons why you should be documenting your processes, even if they are not perfect. Even if they are not perfect. And once you start documenting those processes, what you want to do is you want to hold those processes in one central place so that when the sales department is documenting their processes and the customer service department is documenting their processes and your admin team is documenting their processes, everybody has their processes documented in one place, right? Where they can find it. It's easy to find, easy to create trainings and all of those different kinds of things. And one of the best tools for you to be able to do that with is Trainual. Now, I'm not going to do a whole long video about Trainual, but what I will tell you is that if you are watching this live on YouTube, I'm going to put a link down in the description of the YouTube video where you can click on it and you can go and you can learn about Trainual. It's going to tell you everything that you need to know. And you can even get a 7-day trial so you can go in and test it out and see how it's going to work for you and your team. If you are watching this on Instagram Live, what I want you to do is click the link in my bio. There's a button there that says Trainual, and go ahead and click it, read the information, start your trial, and see what that's like to actually have one centralized place to put all of these processes. Really cool thing about Trainual. Remember, this whole video is about documenting your processes, even though they're not perfect. Well, as you are perfecting these processes, it's really, really easy for your team to get in and make those adjustments because the tool and the interface is so super easy and so super simple. So again, if you are watching on YouTube Live, that link is going to be in the description. I'll make sure that it's there once this is done. You can click it and go check it out and see how that works out for you and your team. If you are on Instagram Live, you're going to click the link in my bio and click that button there that says Trainual. Go ahead and get your trial started and start documenting those processes. If you have any questions at all, I want you to DM me on Instagram. So if you're on YouTube, my Instagram is at Atandra Jones. And of course, if you're on Instagram, you're already on Instagram. At Atandra Jones. Shoot me a DM. Let me know what your questions are. And we might just go ahead and book a clarity call. If you really want to know how this could look specifically, what this would look like specifically for your company, shoot me a DM on Instagram and we will go from there. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, talk to you guys another time. Now I'm going to take some time to shut all this stuff down because it's my first time doing YouTube Live. So I don't know how this is going to be shut down. And I'm going to have to reach over to turn off my Instagram. So y'all can hang out real quick and I'll still be here. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I guess if I hit, oh, I hit stop live